My audience, let me ask you a question. What do you do when the game is over? When you've fried their circuits and the battle is dead in the water? When everything you've worked for, everything you've strived for, slips away into nothingness and the world seems to crumble before you? Do you let the dark whispers of failure consume you? Or do you rise? Do you fight again? Let's be honest. This isn't some fairy tale. This isn't some soft story about overcoming obstacles. This is the harsh reality. A reality where your blood, your sweat, your tears, everything you've poured into the game evaporates in the blink of an eye. The game's dead in the water, and your enemies are watching, waiting for you to collapse under the weight of it. They think it's over. They think you're done. But what if that's when it's just beginning? What if, when you fry their circuits, when you send their world crashing down, that's the very moment you should be sharpening your blade and preparing for the next round? Too often we think that we're in control. We believe that the path we walk will always lead us to victory. But the truth is, no one is truly in control, not even the ones who seem to be on top. No, life doesn't care about your plans, your strategies, or your hopes. It waits. It watches. It strikes when you least expect it, when you're at your most vulnerable. And when you think you've won, it flips the script. It turns everything upside down. You fry their circuits. The game's dead in the water, but the real game has only just begun. You think it's over, don't you? You think you've lost everything. But I'm telling you now, what you've just witnessed is a masterstroke. It's the ultimate reminder that you have power, you have control. When you fry their circuits, you don't just win the battle, you send a message that the world is not going to break you. The game may be dead in the water, but you are not. You are the one who's alive. You are the one who still has the strength to keep moving. You see, when the game's dead in the water, it's not just the end of the road, it's the beginning of something far darker, something far more twisted. You're not walking down the well-lit path anymore. You're deep in the darkness, and in this darkness, that's where true power is born. Because when everything around you falls apart, when the world crumbles, you have two choices. You can either break and accept defeat, or you can embrace the chaos and rise from it stronger than you've ever been. What happens when everything goes wrong? When you're pushed to the edge and there's no way out, no hope, no chance of winning? That's when you realize that the only real victory is surviving. Because when you fry their circuits, when you send them into oblivion, you're not just ending a game, you're surviving it. You're proving that no matter how hard the world tries to crush you, you're still standing. They may have thought they won, but they didn't account for one thing: you. When the game's dead in the water, that's when you learn the truth about who you really are. You learn what's inside of you, what you're capable of when there's nothing left to lose. Because when you have nothing, when everything is taken from you, that's when your true power emerges. It's not in the victories, it's not in the successes, it's in the failures. It's in the moments when you think all is lost and you still rise from the ashes. So what do you do when the game's dead in the water? You rebuild, you don't give up, you don't fold. The moment you accept that it's over, the moment you let the darkness consume you, is the moment you lose. You have to keep fighting, keep pushing, because the game's never truly over until you're gone. And when the game's dead in the water, you don't just accept it, you own it, you control it. You turn it into your weapon, your ally, your strength. It's easy to say you're done. It's easy to lay down and accept the failure. But that's not how you win. That's not how you conquer. You don't win by accepting defeat. You win by making defeat your fuel. You turn that moment of failure into the fire that drives you forward. You make it the reason you rise from the dead, from the ashes and keep moving forward. Because you're not just fighting for survival, you're fighting to take control of the game once again. So the next time you find yourself in that moment when everything seems lost, when the game's dead in the water and there's nothing left to fight for, remember this: you are not done. You are not defeated. You are alive. And as long as you are alive, the game is never over. You fried their circuits, yes, but that's only the first step. The second step is far darker. It's the part where you embrace the void, where you take everything that was supposed to break you and turn it into your weapon. The game is dead in the water, but you're still breathing, and as long as you have breath in your lungs, the game's never truly over. They may have thought they won, but the truth is, they've only just woken the beast within you. They've only just unleashed the monster that's been waiting in the shadows. So take a moment, take a breath, and then rise. Rise from the darkness. Rise from the ashes. Rise and show them that the game may be dead in the water, but you're just getting started. You don't need their circuits. You don't need their game. You've already won. Because while they're stuck in their own defeat, you're carving a new path, one that they could never imagine. And this time, there's no turning back. This time, you are the game. This time, you are the chaos. And when it's over, when it's done, the world will remember that you were the one who rose when everything was dead in the water. You were the one who kept playing when the game had no rules. And that, my friends, is how you win. I hear you. You want to know how to win when everything around you is crumbling, when the game is dead in the water and there's no apparent way forward. You want to know how to rise from the ashes, how to stand tall when the world tries to bury you. You want the real, gritty, unfiltered truth about what it takes to come out on top when there seems to be no hope left. And I'm here to tell you, it's not about the outcome. It's not about winning in the way the world teaches you. It's about resilience. It's about embracing the chaos and surviving it. It's about taking everything that's meant to break you and using it as your fuel. It's about owning the darkness that surrounds you and transforming it into your light. When you fry their circuits, when you obliterate their strategies, their plans, their hopes, they may think they've won. They may think they've finally broken you, but you know better. Because you understand the truth, that the real victory lies in how you respond to failure, how you rise when everyone else expects you to crumble. They've underestimated you, and that, my friend, is their mistake. Because they didn't understand that you don't need the world to be on your side. You don't need the people around you to cheer you on. You don't need anyone but yourself to keep pushing forward. And that, right there, is what makes you unstoppable. The game might seem dead in the water. It might look like you've reached the end of the road, like there's nowhere else to go. But that's when you realize that the end of the game isn't the end of your journey. It's only the beginning. It's when you can strip away the facade, when you can rip apart the illusion of success and failure, that you see who you truly are. The game might be over for everyone else, but not for you. You're not playing by their rules. You've rewritten the playbook, and in your world, there are no limits. You see, winning is not about achieving some external goal. It's not about accolades or trophies or public recognition. Winning is about surviving when survival seems impossible. It's about standing up after you've been knocked down again and again. It's about refusing to let the world define you, refusing to let circumstances control your fate. The game might be over in the eyes of the weak, but you're not weak. You're not ordinary. You are a force to be reckoned with, and that's something they can't take from you. When you think about it, life is a series of games, some big, some small. You win some, you lose some. But it's in those moments of loss, of devastation, that the greatest lessons are learned. You see, the people who win are the ones who don't quit when things get tough. The ones who win are the ones who embrace the dark side of the journey, who learn to dance with their failures and make them their own. And those who don't, those who crumble when the going gets rough, they'll always be one step behind. They'll always be stuck in their own version of the game, forever playing by the rules they never questioned. But not you. You see the game for what it is. You understand that when the game is dead in the water, when everything seems lost, that's when the true warriors rise. Because they know that the only real loss is giving up. The only real defeat is quitting. The only way you truly lose is by walking away, by deciding that it's over. And if you're still breathing, if you're still fighting, then the game is never truly dead. I want you to think about something for a moment. Think about every failure you've ever faced. Think about every time you thought you were finished, every moment when you thought the game was over. Now ask yourself this: how many of those moments were actually the end? How many times did you think it was over, only to realize that it was just a turning point? How many times did you rise from the wreckage, only to come back stronger, sharper, more determined than before? If you're honest with yourself, you'll realize that those moments of failure were never the end. They were the start of something far greater. This is the thing about failure. It's not the enemy. It's not something to be feared or avoided. Failure is the catalyst for growth. It's the forge where your character is tested, where your limits are pushed, where you learn what you're really made of. The game is never dead when you embrace failure. It's only when you refuse to accept failure, when you reject the lessons it offers, that you truly lose. The truth is, failure is where the real power lies. That's where you learn who you really are. It's easy to succeed when everything is going your way, when the sun is shining and the world seems to be on your side. But it's when the world turns against you, when the game is dead in the water and you've got nothing left, that your true strength comes through. That's when you dig deep, when you reach down into the depths of your soul and find the strength to keep going. That's when you understand that winning isn't about the outcome. It's about the journey. It's about what you become along the way. So don't fear failure. Don't fear the darkness that surrounds you when the game seems over. Instead, embrace it. Use it. Let it fuel you. Because the darkness is where the most powerful versions of yourself are born. And when you rise from that darkness, when you emerge from the wreckage, you'll be stronger than you ever thought possible. You'll be a force no one can stop, a force that doesn't need anyone's approval, anyone's validation. You'll be unstoppable. Now let me ask you again, what happens when the game's dead in the water? What happens when you think it's over? When you've fried their circuits, when it feels like there's no way forward? The answer is simple. You rise. You rise because you know that there's nothing else left to do. You rise because you have no choice. You rise because it's in your blood. And when you rise, when you take that first step out of the darkness, you become something else, something greater, something more powerful, something untouchable. This is the truth about winning. It's not about the end of the game. It's not about achieving some distant goal. It's about rising when everything is against you. It's about embracing the chaos and using it to your advantage. It's about refusing to let the world dictate your worth. Because when the game is dead in the water, when everything else fails, there's only one thing left to do. Rise from the ashes and claim what's yours. And when you do, you'll realize something. You'll realize that the game was never really dead. It was just a new beginning. You see, the world doesn't understand you. They don't understand your hunger, your drive, your need to keep going. But that's because they've never been in your shoes. They've never faced the abyss and chosen to stare it down. They've never been pushed to the brink and found the strength to push back. You have. And that's what makes you unstoppable. Because when the world expects you to crumble, when they think the last breath has been taken from you, you're still standing. And in that moment, you realize that true strength doesn't lie in never falling down. It lies in rising every single time you're knocked to the ground. True power doesn't come from success. It comes from survival. It comes from the unshakable determination to never give up, to never let the dark forces around you extinguish the light inside you. They didn't see it coming, did they? They thought they had you figured out. They thought they knew your limits, your breaking points. But the moment they underestimated you, that's when they lost. Because you're not like everyone else. You don't play by their rules. When they fry your circuits, when they push you to the edge, you don't stay down. You keep going. You find a way to keep moving forward, even when there seems to be no way. That's what makes you different. That's what makes you relentless. And it's that relentless pursuit of survival, of growth, of becoming better than you were the day before, that makes you unstoppable. You see, the greatest weapon you have in this world is not your fists, your intelligence, or your ability to manipulate the game. The greatest weapon you have is your willpower, the mind that refuses to break under pressure, the heart that beats even when it feels like it's been pierced 1,000 times. It's the indomitable spirit inside you that refuses to quit, no matter how many times life knocks you down. They can take your position, they can wipe out your plans, they can fry your circuits and break your body, but they cannot break your will to rise again. That's the power you hold. That's the power you can wield, the power that makes you unstoppable. But here's the catch. You're not just surviving. You're not just fighting to stay alive. That's the trap most people fall into. They fight just to make it through another day. They fight because they're afraid of losing. But not you. You're not afraid of losing. You're not fighting just to survive. You're fighting to conquer. You're fighting to dominate. Because you know that survival is just the beginning. When you're still breathing after everything else has crumbled, you realize that you've just entered the most powerful phase of the game. And it's here, in this broken place, where you will rebuild stronger than before. Here, in the darkness, where you are forged into something unbreakable. So when the game seems over, when everything feels like it's collapsing around you, it's time to change the way you look at the world. It's time to stop thinking like the victim and start thinking like the predator. It's time to turn the tables. It's time to stop reacting and start acting. Every moment that you spend thinking about your failure, every moment you waste mourning what's lost, is a moment that the world uses to pull further away from you. So stop. Stop focusing on the pain. Stop wallowing in the wreckage of the past. You are not defined by what's been taken from you. You are defined by what you choose to do next. The people who win, the ones who come out on top, are the ones who see opportunity in destruction. They don't run from the rubble. They run toward it. They see it as their canvas, their chance to create something greater than what came before. And so, when you find yourself in the aftermath, when the game is dead in the water and the pieces of your life are scattered across the battlefield, you have one choice. You can either let the wreckage bury you, or you can rise from it and build your empire. And let me tell you this, if you have the heart to rise again, if you have the strength to turn the darkness into your greatest ally, you'll emerge from that destruction stronger than you could ever have imagined. But it won't be easy. It never is. If it was easy, then everyone would do it. The path to greatness is filled with pain, with sacrifice, with moments of doubt and uncertainty. It's a lonely road where only the truly relentless survive. And that's the truth that few want to acknowledge. The world will never hand you what you want. It will never give you the life you dream of. You have to take it. You have to fight for it, claw for it, until there's nothing left in you but the will to rise. And if you have the courage to do that, if you have the strength to rise from the ashes when everyone else has fallen, you will claim the victory that was always meant to be yours. Think about it. How many people do you know who talk about success, who talk about greatness, but never achieve it? They want it, sure. They dream of it. But when the game gets tough, when the chips are down, they quit. They walk away. They let the darkness consume them, and they disappear into the shadows. But you're different. You're the one who keeps going when the world tells you to stop. You're the one who finds a way when everyone else has given up. And that, my friend, is why you will always prevail. Because you are willing to walk into the darkest corners of life and face your fears head on. You are willing to rise from the grave over and over again until you've conquered every demon standing in your way. And when you do, when you finally stand at the top of that mountain, you'll know that no one, no force, no circumstance will ever bring you down again. But let me tell you something that most people don't understand. It's not about the destination. It's not about reaching the top. It's not about the rewards or the recognition. That's all temporary. The true victory lies in the journey. It lies in the scars you collect along the way, the lessons you learn, and the person you become in the process. When you reach the top, when you finally claim the success you've been fighting for, you'll realize that it's not the victory itself that matters. It's the battle you fought to get there. Every fight, every loss, every setback you experience on your journey is not something to be feared. It's something to be embraced. It's a necessary part of the process. Without the struggle, there can be no triumph. Without the darkness, there can be no light. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to grow stronger, to learn more about yourself, and to sharpen your skills. And when you finally emerge victorious, when you finally stand tall in the face of your enemies, you'll understand something profound. You were never afraid of the struggle. You were never afraid of the darkness. You were only afraid of one thing: giving up. So let me ask you one final question. When the game is dead in the water, when everything around you is falling apart, will you give up? Will you let the darkness swallow you whole? Or will you rise? Will you become the person you were always meant to be? The person who's capable of facing any challenge, overcoming any obstacle, and conquering every fear? I'm telling you now, the choice is yours. And if you choose to rise, if you choose to fight with everything you have, there is nothing that can stop you. You will become the force that no one can reckon with, the one who stands tall when the world falls. And that, my friend, is how you win. In the end, victory isn't about the external rewards or the finish line. It's about the strength to rise again and again when everything around you tells you to quit. When the game is dead in the water and the world has written you off, that's when your true power emerges. It's not about never falling. It's about refusing to stay down. You are unstoppable because you choose to keep fighting, to keep growing, and to keep moving forward, no matter the obstacles. And in that relentless pursuit, you will conquer what others cannot even begin to understand. That is how you win.